Storytelling is such a powerful way to pass information because we are wired to connect with stories. And this goes back millennia. Already at times when we were still living in caves, we passed on information in the form of stories, from the elder to the younger generations. And then later on, we drew paintings on walls to pass on information again in the form of stories. So our brain is wired to look out for these clues and to connect with them. TED Talks are such a powerful format because it focuses on different elements. Firstly, it is about sharing an idea that deserves a stage. So when we curate talks, when I coach people to give a talk, we focus on extracting this very essence of the idea to bring on stage what they really want to say. And secondly, we use stories. So we create relatability and vulnerability with the speaker, and we wrap it all into a story format. And as I've said before, storytelling is what we are wired to connect with. And all that paired with a great delivery will result in an outstanding TED Talk that hopefully millions will click on online. A good story is composed of some technical elements and an engaging emotional delivery. On the technical side, we need a hero who embarks on a journey, on a quest often. Secondly, we need emotions, so we can connect and identify with that hero. We need suspense. You can call that drama if you like. So the hero hits a roadblock, an obstacle, can't continue his or her quest, often seeks or receives unexpected outside counsel, advice, and eventually succeeds in the journey on the quest. So we live through the story with that main character. That makes it relatable. These are on the technical side. On the delivery side, obviously, stories come to life with the way we tell them. This can't be a monotonous talk, all on the same level, not even looking at the audience. No, stories are told like sitting around at a campfire. And if you combine those both elements, you mix it up well, out comes an outstanding or a good story. For me personally, the checklist for a good story includes a hero character with a name. Can't just be a stereotypical average Joe or plain Jane. It needs a name or be relatable. Second of all, start right in the middle of the action. Don't tell me how things have been 10 years before. Start right where the hero lives through something. You need suspense and emotional wording to connect with it. And sometimes, and this is maybe more the link to the business context if you use it in a professional context, you need to step out of the story. And this is the element that you certainly have already heard, which is this moment when you as a speaker tell me what the greater meaning of it all is. How does it apply for humanity or to our business? And this is where you do this link where you connect the power of stories that we are wired to connect with to maybe the informative or persuasive content that you mean to transmit. So that would be a checklist if I had to create one for a good story. A DisruptHR speaker is actually not a restricted title. Anyone can become a DisruptHR speaker, much like anyone could become a TEDx speaker. But it is about the idea. Do you have an idea that is disruptive? Do you have an idea that deserves to be on stage? Well, if you do, the format and how you get it across in your talk doesn't require talent really. I'm, for example, here to help you or other support mechanisms. But if you lack the idea in the first place, I think it will be a bit more difficult to become a DisruptHR speaker. If you have it, it's simply a process you run through and a great performance on the day that will then make you be part of this great line of outstanding disruptors. For DisruptHR, my job as a speaker coach has essentially two sides. One hand, I take care of quality control, follow-up, and I make sure that the speakers actually talk about something that's relevant, that it is disruptive and that fits the general format, and I support the organizers and keeping deadlines, making sure everything is sound and ready on the date. On the other hand, I support the speakers to make sure that they extract the very essence of their idea and that they move just that step further from a good and well-rehearsed talk to a disruptive speech. And that in exactly 5 minutes. So out comes a bullet-sharp talk that the speaker will just nail on the day. And hopefully get a lot of views online and maybe standing ovations at the event. The speaker coaching for DisruptHR and other conferences where I work focuses on different pillars. First of all, we make sure that we maximize your content. Now, what does that mean? It means that we seek out the best order of your arguments and the most relevant and powerful information and arguments for that specific target audience. So we organize and plan your content. It's important for me to tell you that it's not me selecting your content. We work together to identify which is, for your general key message, the most appropriate format for that talk. Then we focus on adding what I call power of speech. That is using the power of language to connect with the audience, to create emotions, to make it relatable. And last but not least, we rehearse delivery. We make sure that you feel comfortable, calm and ready at the time of your speech, and you deliver it in a way that everyone will remember, even those in the last row. The benefits of speaker coaching are really large and diverse. Of course, if we were to collaborate for a specific speech, that will be well prepared and you will deliver on the day and perhaps use the speech again in another context, who knows. But you will obviously take away a lot more in terms of effective communication, from structure to storytelling to delivery, that you can really use in any communication. Sometimes I like to joke and say it might even make the communication between you and your significant other more effective and clearer. Who knows? But it is really something that I receive as a feedback a couple of weeks and months later, that people tell me, you know what? I actually started structuring my meetings the way we structured the speech, or I've tried to use a little bit of storytelling in my team meetings, and I was so surprised because people really listened. That wasn't the case before. So I've realized only to what extent it really goes into our daily life and can help you to become a more confident and effective communicator as a leader, as an influencer, as a change maker. There are so many elements that I adore about my professional life. But if I were to condense it down to one notion, it is that moment when I sit in the audience, my hands are sweaty, and I live through the speech with the speaker on stage. I know every element, every sentence that was a bit bumpy during last rehearsal. And each time they nail just that moment, my hands become a bit less sweaty and a weight goes off my shoulders. And then to see them receive the applause they've worked so hard for, and that in my eyes they so deserve, that are moments that really fuel my batteries and make me get up in the morning.